Episode 11, Get Sober, Stay Sober, and it's Saturday morning. How many of you guys are hungover today, but how many of you guys are not hungover? Right here, not hungover. We had a good Friday night. I had to work yesterday. I got to work again today. Just got in a little bit of a power nap. My body was telling me this morning, you're tired. It's -2 degrees here this morning. Overnight, it was negative. It got down to -17. If you guys are in the path of that storm there down south and in the Midwest area, praying for you guys. It's a lot of us will drink through this stuff. A lot of us will drink through the storms, through the have parties actually. Just drink and just forget about the problems. We lose power, maybe we have other issues that we have to deal with. Maybe we got to plow the snow. Maybe we got to go out and do extra work. I mean, whatever it is, we'll drink at it. It doesn't matter what it is. We'll drink at it. And but if you made it through last night, you didn't drink, and you were here at the live stream yesterday, I'm so glad you guys joined in yesterday. And we're here today talking about the topic today. I want to talk about a little bit is you are your biggest challenge. It's like we're not necessarily very honest with ourselves in our drinking days. When we're stuck in addiction, we lie to ourselves, and we try to sometimes we try to improve ourselves, but we can't because we are drinking all the time. We're doing all these things to get better and feel better, and taking all the supplements and exercising and watching our calories and doing all these things, and then we drink, and then we wonder why we're falling back into these same old thinking patterns, into this depression, into this anxiety, into all these things that make us feel bad. And we don't want to admit that the alcohol is the main issue, and that's where we make a huge mistake. Now, I knew that when I wanted to, you know, eventually when I wanted to get to where I wanted to go, I knew that I was going to have to fix what was really actually broken. And one of the things that I had to do was take a deep look in the mirror. I had to be honest with myself about the challenges I was facing, be honest about what I was going through on a daily basis with my drinking, be honest with the fact that the drinking was the driving force that was holding me down. Welcome in, Bez. And when I did that, I started to recognize that, you know what, I'm the biggest roadblock in this. It's hard to admit that. It's hard to tell yourself that you're the issue. It's so easy to blame other people. It's so easy to take all your pain on other people. It's so easy to, when things aren't going your way, to sweep it under the rug and say, I'll deal with it tomorrow. But we're not guaranteed tomorrow. We're not guaranteed tomorrow's going to come. So we need to take the time and really do a deep introspection of what we're going through on a daily basis. And that's a challenge for a lot of us because it takes being vulnerable. It takes being open to the fact that, you know what, I got to fix this. I got to fix what is truly going on. And if I don't, I'm going to wake up every day doing the same exact thing, doing this, making the same exact choices, bad choices. I'm going to make the same routine, and I'm going to do it. And that's just because I'm used to it. There's security in that. There's a sense um, of stability to that. Like we know what we're going to get, and that's just the way that it's always going to be. And then that's the way that it is. So, um, the reality is, welcome in T. The reality, he says, the reality is a reflection of all that. It's not the self. Easton, welcome in. Um, the reality to me, for me, was that I had to really look in the mirror and ask myself, like, do I like what I'm doing? each day. And the honest to God truth was I didn't like drinking anymore. I wasn't happy with the way that I was, you know, existing. And that's really all I was doing was existing. I wasn't growing, I wasn't thriving. And admitting the fact that I'm the biggest obstacle, I'm the biggest challenge in this was a huge thing. No one's going to get us out of this. Nobody's going to come rescue us. A lot of us don't even want to be rescued. You know, we want to just do what we do, keep on doing it, regardless of if it's hurting ourselves, hurting other people. It doesn't really matter. We just, we want what we want, and we're going to get it one way or the other, and that's the way that it is. And everybody else can stick it. And you know, the truth of the matter is that when we can take full accountability of our own actions, we're going to get to where we want to go. Now it's Saturday. Um, a lot of us probably drank last night. How many of us went to the pub last night? Say I. I didn't go to the bar that often when I was a drinker, but I certainly, don't even I don't even think about it. I used to, when I first quit drinking, I used to drive by this brewery every day, and I used to think about it. Think about what it was like to sit in there. Think about the ambiance. Think about ordering that flight of beers. Think about, watching sports or having a conversation with somebody or playing games with a friend or, one of my kids or whatever. And I would ruminate about that, and I would long for it. I would wish that I could have that back. It was like, man. So I started to take a different route. Like I just was like, you know what? I don't even want to think that way anymore. I don't want to think about that and miss that and have that FOMO and that fear of missing out and feeling like, I'm sick. I'm sick of feeling that way. So I started to take a different route, and I did that for some time, few months, and then I would take that route again, and it was a different thought process when I would pass by that brewery. I would think those people that are in there, yeah, they're not all stuck in addiction. Some people can have a beer and be done. That wasn't me. And I would have 8 beers and I would still want more, and it was never enough. The more that I drank, I was chasing that feeling, that euphoria, that feeling that I would be away from all my problems, all my pains, all my responsibilities, all my this, all my that, and I would chase that. And I didn't challenge myself, and so some people will get on this channel and they'll be like, "Oh, he's blathering on about all the bad things that's happening in his life," um, or one comment last week was, "Oh, here's another YouTuber begging for money," and it's not like that. I get on here because this is a place where we can go, we can talk about our recovery. This is a place where we can go and we can talk about our successes. It's a community. I couldn't do this without community. I couldn't get to where I wanted to be without it. Um, 3T says the reality, but not all self is reflection. Therefore, discontentment with the external is discontentment with self. So that's perfect. That's perfectly said. If we can be accepting of what our reality is, look at it for what it is. I mean, there's good, there's bad. It's not all bad, it's not all good. There's somewhere right in the middle. But when we're drinking and we're stuck in addiction, there's this roller coaster of emotions. We're up, we're down. One day we're okay with how we are, our lot in life. The next day we're not. Um, there's a middle ground to that. And if we can find acceptance of our reality, look at it for what it is, take it as a blessing. It might not be a ton of things, it might just be a few things. But if we can take accountability of that, accept that for what it is, and nurture it, and then, take care of ourselves, because that no one's going to, like I said earlier, no one's going to come to our rescue. We're in this. It's a survival kind of a thing. And if we're stuck in addiction and we're hanging on for dear life and we're trying our best to do our best, um, but we're failing all the time. We're having these feelings of self-loathing. We feel like nothing's working out to our advantage. We feel like, hey Corey, welcome in. I haven't heard Patrick Swayze, but thank you. I like Patrick Swayze. You guys remember that movie, Ghost? I didn't think about that until recently. I don't remember what brought that on, but Ghost. I watched that movie a lot when I was younger. Um, and it was just, it's a good story. But anyway, um, getting back to the whole thing about being, stuck in addiction, looking at our our outside reality and not liking what we're seeing. I mean, that can go for people. It can go for um, like people's behavior was a huge thing for me. I got hung up on people's comments. I got hung up on the way that people would like treat me, the comments people would make, all these things. They kept me in isolation. Like, I didn't trust people. I was skeptical of everybody. I didn't want to I didn't want to put my faith in anybody. Like, I wanted to put my belief and my faith in myself. I didn't turn to a higher power. I tried. I prayed. I did all that, but I continued to go back to drinking. And when I quit drinking and I had some time, I started to recognize that I wasn't truly happy with where I was in my life. I wanted to escape my responsibilities. I felt like I had way too many of them. I felt like I went from having no responsibility to all the responsibility in the world. I had people counting on me. I had um, I had so many like eyes on me, and I wasn't used to that. So it was like a shock to my system. And as the years went on, and I was drinking more and more, and I was using alcohol to deal with that, I started to recognize that I was losing myself. Like, my identity was that I was a drinker. Things aren't working out for me, and that's the way that it's always going to be. In fact, I'll take it a step further. I deserve what I get. I deserved it. I didn't really recognize that that was an issue until I was like a few months into therapy and quitting, and after quitting drinking 100%, that I felt like drinking was a normal thing, but I also felt like I deserved the pain and misery, like the hangovers, the anxiety, the panic, the bad feelings, the ill will towards people, the resentments that I would create towards people, the resentments that people had towards me. I felt like I deserved all that. Like, I felt like I took on all these burdens unnecessarily. So I would get to like the weekend and I would just, I wouldn't have to work, so I would drink Friday, Saturday, Sunday, drink all the way through. And meanwhile, I had all these people in my life that were there that I just didn't really, take advantage of. Like, I didn't really spend the quality time with them that I normally would have if I wasn't focused solely on drinking. That was a huge thing. I didn't want to live that way anymore. Like, I wanted to get out of it. And it took a little bit of time. It took a little bit of effort. It took a little bit of self reflection. It took some months to really like grab a hold of uh, the main point of living in recovery, which was to have a better life, not to feel all those negative feelings anymore. Those feelings that I would like I said, I had a black cloud following me around. I was accomplishing things on one hand, but on the other hand, my personal life was in shambles. I wasn't able to handle anything. Anytime anybody would make any kind of comment, um, which is a huge 180 from where I was. Like if I wasn't like 4 to 5 years alcohol free, and when I started this channel, the comments on here would have driven me off. Now it's whatever. I take the comments that are the people that are here that are serious about this. I take that seriously. The people that are making these, like the trolls that making the comments on here, they're either funny or they're interesting, because a lot of people get on here to um, just to make themselves feel better. And so when I read comments like that are totally making fun instead of actually being here to get alcohol free or stay alcohol free, I think, they're here for a reason. And for me, that's God. God brings people in and out of our life for a reason. Sometimes, and I post about this every now and then. Like, sometimes people are in our life, and when we quit drinking, they need to be out of our life, and it's a hard thing to do. Maybe they don't have to be out of our life completely, but at the same time, like, we need to formulate better boundaries, because they're actually holding us back. And if we're not drinking, it's easier to decipher who those people are and what we need to do to make that possible for us. We need to have healthier boundaries for ourselves, for other people, and maybe they're family members that that you're struggling with. Maybe they're friends or coworkers or whoever they are, and sometimes it's impossible to get away from them. Like, I had somebody last week at my work that he just he follows people around and asks like questions, and it's like it's never ending. So I he kept asking me questions, and I was like, oh, can you hold on a second, I'll be right back. And I got up, I went outside, and I came back in, and I sat in a different area. And it was because um I couldn't handle it. I mean, most days I'm okay with it, but like when you start to recognize people's patterns, you can trust that about them. You can trust that, oh, here we go. Um, and it's not like he's a bad person, but it was like one of those situations where it was like, if I was still drinking, I'd let that really bother me, and I might drink at it later. And so that's somewhere where I was able to fix that and get to the other side of that. But if you're here, it's Saturday morning. If you're here and you're hungover, I'm glad that you made it here today. I got to wrap this up because I got to head into work. But I'm glad that you guys visited today. If you didn't drink last night, kudos to you. Let's make it another day, day two. Every day matters. Getting through every urge matters. Sometimes we might have 2, 3, 4 strong urges in a day to drink. But if we get through those urges, we're stronger for the next one, and then we can make it to the next day, and so on. And those days build up into weeks, and those weeks build into months, and then eventually we get to years, and we don't really alcohol doesn't play a factor in our life anymore at all. Like, it's nothing. It's non-existent. So if that's what you're striving for, you've come to the right place. I'm glad that you guys are here. Stay tuned for the next video coming up tomorrow morning, Sunday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'll have a video every Sunday and Wednesday. So stay tuned. We'll see you on the next one, guys. Take care.